YouTube. Y'all missed a few minutes of us.
It's okay. Technical difficulties.
And that's what we're known for here at Sessions. Technical difficulties, Mister.
We just figuring it out. We all just figuring it out.
Right, we got
That's
to,
all it
man.
is.
It's a growing and a learning lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most definitely.
So look at Dre taking pictures over there that's fucking me up. He live on the other page. He on the Sessions page that went live. Thank you, Slick.
He's live on the Sessions page. You're live on the YouTube.
I'm on YouTube.
Nice. Okay.
My personal page. We on Twitter and we on Instagram right now.
All at the same time.
All at the same time.
That's
Yeah, we rolling. We rolling. That's why I be reaching out to people for interviews, man, to tap in with us, man. We can do it via kind of like a Zoom. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole nother studio in here that I could go to. We Zoom out. You know what I'm saying? I give them the number. We the link and we link in and your phone. We could have did this from the presence of your home tonight.
Yeah, no, I remember you telling me last time we were talking. I was telling you about like poetry homies I had, and you said like you could interview with them live and all that. So that's cool to utilize that, man, because if you could interview somebody in Canada or Nashville or something like that, like that's dope.
Yeah, so let you guys know they want to reach out.
Oh, most definitely.
So tonight we want to talk to you first. I met you as a poet. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what first drew you to poetry.
Yeah. I started writing poetry when I was 11 years old. So, like, I've been writing for the last 22 years. Yeah, so, and I always tell people, and you could probably already sense this, but, like, what got me into poetry wasn't poetry itself. Like, I wasn't a big reader as a kid. I didn't really read books, not because I didn't like reading, but I don't think I found anything that interested me in reading when I was a kid. So, I just never really read books. But what got me to poetry was rap and battle rap. Like, the first poet I heard was Nas.
Ooh.
And that was Made You Look. Like, I would listen to that song every morning going to school. Like, I would have it rehearsed, memorized in my head. I listened to him, Missy Elliott, Ludacris, Wayne, and like, and Ye too early Ye, not the Ye now.
Not Black Hooded Ye.
Nah, he's going through some things, you know. He ain't the same, but that's what got me into poetry, because I never thought when I was a kid, because I was so shy. I was like, man, I don't think I could ever rap or battle rap like these guys, like Murder Mooks, like Loaded Luck Series Jones. I'm like, but I can write stories, so that's where poetry kind of came into place. But I was always a page poet. I didn't start like sharing my poetry like you know me for now till I was 23. So from like 11 till 23, I was just writing for a page and stuff like that. So battle rap and rap's what inspired me, though. You know,
and that was gonna be the next. So how's your style evolved over time? So I get it now. You kind of told it. You went from being a page poet to someone who's able to say they stuff out there. You know, you got me on stage to do a couple of poems. You know,
did, man.
You know, if I could ever get over that shyness when I'm live on stage and calm them butterflies down, I think.
Yeah, man. You know, it's crazy. Like being friends and like kind of colleagues with like poets who do this nationally. One thing that I've kind of learned is like the nervousness never goes away. And I tell my students that too. Like for me, I still get nervous.
Right.
Because I'm just like an introverted person. I like being to myself. So like being in front of people's a lot. So like I'm always nervous, but it's just choosing to make that decision to be like, hey, I'm nervous, but I'm gonna still do this.
Right.
I'm gonna do this somehow, you know. So it's always gonna be there, and all that. But man, I think my style though, it's always evolving. I think like when you're a writer or a poet or a rapper or whatever, I feel like there's never a stop to like how you evolve. You know, like Jay-Z, like the blueprint Jay-Z is different for the 444 Jay-Z.
True.
And whatever comes after 444 is gonna be different than that, you know. So I think that just always happens to artists. But I think as of recently, you know, like being a page poet, and then going to like presentation poetry, I kind of work to make myself be more like bar heavy, rhythm heavy, rhyme heavy, because I came from battle rap and rap, you know. But that's kind of like how I wrote for a good minute. But now I think kind of in this present moment, I try to like still have that style, but make my stuff more relatable. Because I realize like
sometimes you talk over people's heads.
Yeah, and I don't do it on like purpose to make myself seem like smarter. It's just how I write.
Right.
Like a lot of my favorite writers were just super over my head. I'm like, I like that because I like writers that can make me sit down and be like, okay, what did this man say? You know, but not everybody gravitates towards that, you know?
Right.
So I've been learning to make myself a little bit more relatable of like, okay, let me be complex a little bit, but tell you a story a lot of it, because you'll get the story more than
You get the
over these things.
yeah.
You know.
For sure, that's dope, bro. I like the over the head bars. Sometimes make me go back and rewatch it and okay, let me listen to it again. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, you know your boy, your I'm not gonna say your boy, your brother, what's it, Obi?
Obi, the one who Obi West.
Yeah, Obi West.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was trying to remember the name correctly, but I had Trice in my head, Obi Trice.
Trice.
But you know what I'm saying? But he
Yeah.
raps and a lot of his stuff goes over people's heads. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But he's dope because he brings you in with the feeling.
Mhm.
When he know he done went over your head, he give you one of them facial expressions and something to
Exactly.
draw you back in. So, bro, you know what I'm saying? I salute, bro, because you know I enjoy his style and his videos. He dope as fuck.
He's one of those guys. Like, he's a writer. You could just tell, you know, from his rhythm and style. Like, he's a writer. And like, again, like us who like know lyricism, we appreciate that. You know,
Yeah.
we can, because we catch everything, and even we don't catch it till later, we appreciate all the more. But like, I realize in poetry, you have such a broad like spectrum of audience members. Where like, if you go down to Albuquerque, New Mexico, they don't really know nothing about like bars or punchlines or double entendres, and like
They
everything's gonna go over their head, you know.
Okay.
Where they just like a story, you know. So I'm learning, I guess, like now with my style to be a little bit more, keep being bar heavy, lyrical me, but learning how to tell a story for those who won't catch those lines and all that, you know.
I remember when I first got into poetry and first wrote, I used to think everything had to rhyme.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I can't do this. And then you start learning about different styles, the haikus and the, you know what I'm saying, the
Yeah.
different styles of poetry. You know what I'm saying, the realism. And then, you know, I think slam poetry came in and helped change it a whole lot because that went from just rhyming but more to rhyming. You feel me?
Yeah.
It made you listen deeper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like it's more like it could, like poetry, like slam poetry, spoken word poetry can have rhyme, but it has a lot more. It's an art word, like you could have rhythm but not have rhyme. You know,
Right.
You can have a whole poet who like doesn't rhyme a word in his stuff, but he still has this rhythm that keeps you locked in. You know, that's the kind of freedom I like about poetry when it comes to like that versus rap. Like I love both art forms, but rap, you kind of like you're kind of like held to the mercy of like this meter. You gotta keep on beat. You gotta keep on this, that, the other. But poetry, you can do whatever you want. You know,
Right.
you're not held to like a meter. So that's what I like about it. It ain't got to rhyme. It ain't got to, you know, it's whatever you make it.
But it's there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question now. I know a lot of your poems are deep and explore personal things. How did you ever decide to share, or how do you decide what to share with the world and what, if you write something and if it's just for healing purposes, just for you, you know what I'm saying? Or is it just, you know what I'm saying, is it ever a time for it to come to the world?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I was just talking to a group of writers about this a couple days ago. Because for me, like, I think for me in this kind of like present moment, like when I write stuff that's like for me, you know, that's like vulnerable or talks about something hard or talks about something like that will kind of put me out there as like said weak or whatever. I've learned to just make it a priority to let that be known. You know, let those kind of pieces be known, especially because like I know y'all be able to relate, but like as a said black male, like we already have this culture of like you got to be hard, you got to be this, you got to be that, and because
Don't
that
show no weakness.
yeah, you gotta be just like rigid and like show no emotion and all that. And like that's a whole, I could talk for hours about what I think the why is behind that. But with that, you know, being a culture that like has kind of like practiced holding in emotions, like we get physically sick that way, we get mentally disturbed that way, we have like a lot more depression and all that. So for me, it's important for me to kind of share those pieces. I'm just saying like, hey, like this is my vulnerability because I don't hold my stuff. If I'm sad, I'm gonna tell you I'm sad about something. If I'm grieving something, I'm gonna tell you I'm grieving. If I'm angry, I'm gonna tell you I'm angry. You know, and I think like it's important for me to put that out there because like it's hard, you know, because like putting your like said heart out there for people, it's just like, damn, I don't know what folks are gonna do with this. You know, they
gonna ostracize me. They gonna
drag me to the dirt. You know, but for the most, I had this thing that happened last year when I was in Peoria. I was out there for a feature for this open mic out there, right? And after my set, this brother came up to me. He was about like 6'5", just towering over me. And bro said like, he's like, man, I ain't gonna lie, that one of them poems you spit made me cry. And I'm like, yo, that's dope, cause like we don't give ourselves permission to do that, you know. So for me, I'm like, if I got a poem that's like about something super vulnerable about my healing journey, whether it be from like, you know, from recent happenings of losing a brother, kind of like losing relationships and all that, you know, I always go by discretion, but at the end of the day, I kind of tell myself like, if it's gonna help other people heal, share that, you know, regardless of what people are gonna think. Their words at the end of the day, you know.
And it helps everybody to heal. You know, I've been doing the little PTSD series here as well. You know what I'm saying, dealing with that of prisoners, but and showing, instead of trying to show on the side that, you know, you see on the TikToks and all these reels, come to prison, it's fun. You see, we got our phones here, we do everything here. You know what I'm saying? And, and instead of trying to deter people from that path, you know what I'm saying? So you know, poetry helped me to find a lane and to travel and to adjust. And you know, one of the first poems I wrote that I really didn't want to share with the world was the one about my case.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember,
you know
that
what
one.
I'm saying?
I remember that one vividly.
But dealing with you gave me the courage to finally speak that poem publicly. You know what I'm saying? I had said I would never do that. So somebody wanted me to do it on a beat at one point in time. I said, bro, I would never share this poem publicly with anyone. But it ended up, after getting into comfortabilities with you or being around you, and man, I gotta do this. You know what I'm saying? It just got the edge, you know, eating at me like, man, share this work so people can understand that it's a whole nother side as well to what's going on.
And how did it feel after kind of sharing that piece, you think? I'm curious.
After I shared it, it was deep. I got a gambit of reactions. Yeah, from some people who were involved, who per se know they were mentioned, you know, what was going on. Man, I can't believe you said that, man. I was rocking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I get it. You know, but that's your feelings. But you had to tell them, like, you got to keep in mind that my feelings are my feelings in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So what I see, my side of the story is what I see with my eyes. You know what I'm saying? And whatever else everybody try to fill in with me, even though I know it, it's just being filled in from somebody else's perspective, and the way they see things is totally different. They might have missed something that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All you can do at the end of the day is share your narrative. You know, that's from your perspective, and be real about it, you know? Because there's a healing behind that. That's dope, bro. I'm not, whenever I talk to people about you, about like the poems you've done at Roaring Rhetoric, I always mention that one, because I'm like, yeah, that one's like, it's a real one, you know? A real narrative.
For sure. So with that, Roaring Rhetoric, it's still going strong once a month, right?
Yep, once a month. Yeah, we have an open mic once a month, which is like a community poetry reading. And then like we just started doing our writing sips again. I don't host any of those. Alicia on Demand hosts those.
Okay, Alicia on Demand. Yeah, super funny gal.
Yeah. No, she's a lot of energy, a lot of good energy.
Most definitely.
But she hosts writing sips the day before, which is kind of like writing paints and all that. So we have 2 events go on a month, but the open mic once a month for sure. And it's been growing by itself, man. It's been cool to see.
That's dope. I mean, like you say, I done been at you with a couple of spaces you done used for it, and it's dope, man. I encourage anybody, whenever you see the flyers for it at Skylight Lounge or wherever he has these events thrown at, show up, man. It's dope, man. Even if you don't want to participate per se, come listen to the words. Come listen, because there's a couple of people I done met at your shows and be like, man, bro, that was deep. You know what I'm saying? You weird, but that was deep.
Hey, and as artists, we all gonna be weird a little bit, you know. But that's the thing. I like what I like about Roaring Rhetoric is like it just how it brings people together. Like
you have a bro for real, man. Your audience or your participants in Roaring Rhetoric is a gambit. You got the one guy that's in there that sound like he could be the voiceover for Batman every time he do his poems. You,
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
you got the one tall guy who, you know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? And then you got is that Max? Is that her name?
Max.
The young girl, the young lady, the short haircut.
I know you're talking about. That's Judy's.
Judy, yeah.
Yeah. The name is like, dang, I'm gonna kick myself because I'm forgetting the name.
I'm bogus because I thought it was Max. I might be wrong.
Yeah, it was something else. I'm gonna remember at some point.
Okay,
My
yeah.
bad, I'm
But
dropping
shout out to you because
Shout out.
we know who you, Judy. Judy, don't kill us for not remembering your daughter's name. We remember mom though.
Yeah, we remember Judy's cool peoples. Yeah,
Right.
No, but that's the cool thing. Like we have so many different like people kind of show up for these things
From all aspects of life,
who
bro.
would never be around each other, but for no reason but poetry.
And that's it, and that's dope, bro. For
You
real.
know?
And I salute that.
Yeah, it's good energy. Definitely come through if you haven't. It's good energy, really good energy. It's like church.
Most definitely. Without all the condemnation.
No condemnation. No,
We're not being condemned for anything.
No.
Okay. Last question on the poetry and writing side. If you could collaborate with any poet or writer, living or dead, who would it be and
Damn.
why?
I kind of want to do two from two different eras.
Do that.
James Baldwin,
Okay.
because that dude was probably he was a genius. Like he was so ahead of his time, and as a writer, he's just a genius writer. Like he influenced a lot of like my thinking and like the way I kind of write too. But definitely, I would like to. I would definitely want to collaborate with him and a writer now, Propaganda, also known as Jason Petty. He's like a poet, activist, battle rapper, MC from the West Coast.
Oh yeah.
Really dope. He really he influenced a lot of my writing as well as just really just kind of like what I do in general as an educator and like poet and all that. So those are two cats I definitely would like to collaborate with.
Dope.
Beat production wise, The Alchemist too at some point.
Alchemist, bro. I got
poetry over like Alchemist beats. Would be
bro.
crazy.
I got a chance to see him do a whole set
What?
in Colorado at 420.
Dang.
Alchemist, and motherfuckers didn't really know who he was because he was just up there. It wasn't a rapper or none of. He was just up there playing his instrumental. Bro, I was in heaven listening to them beats,
and nobody knew who. Man,
motherfuckers knew, but a lot of people was not giving them the props until the rappers started coming on the stage.
Yeah, Alchemist. That is
is dope as fuck for real.
That is a living, breathing, like part of hip hop history. Dang.
Ray, did you kick that camera or something? That motherfucker is not showing clear. I'm seeing it right there with Aubs, but yeah, his vision it's my apologies. Back to our
Oh no, that's cool.
it happens. Okay, so we want to talk about you mentioned being an educator.
Yeah.
So how is teaching? Is it like? See,
yeah.
I get equated
like, do you want my honest answer? No.
Nah, I get equated to talking with a kid. You know what I'm saying? Training.
I love like I've wanted to be a teacher since I was like in second grade. So like I wanted to be a teacher longer than I wanted to be a poet.
Okay.
So for me, like I love education and like I like working with kids. I love being a mentor to kids, being able to kind of like see that growth and all that. Like there's even in the most hardest environments that I like taught in, like at risk, like junior high kids and all that. Like I've always loved working with the students.
A lot of your at-risk junior high students are dope poets, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no, really good poets, man. Like I think the hardest thing about education is like just the system of education. That's why I stopped being a teacher, in a traditional way,
Right.
just being like a school teacher and all that, because like it just didn't.
You got to confine to a whole lot of.
You got to confine to the system that doesn't really like that measures kids by like tests, quizzes, standardized tests.
And none of that measures the true IQ of a child. Even though you
It
talking about
measures
what
like
you learn. A portion.
Like,
but for the most part, you got to deal with that child, or, you know what I'm saying, and or that individual, you know what I'm saying, on a basis to
Yeah,
understand, like, okay, I get you, you know what I'm saying?
exactly. So that's why I like I'm glad and I'm grateful as heck too to like have a organization in which I can educate kids through. Where like I work with the schools and all that.
Okay,
Like we'll teaching in poetry, music, and all that, as opposed to being a teacher. You know, because it's a lot more fulfilling. Like to your point of what you were saying, I got two students right now, right, who have been working on their own comic, you know, and they're on 240 chapters right now.
wow,
One of them one of them like doesn't do well in English class, but for me, I'm like, you obviously are like good at English because you wrote 240 pages of a thing, but it's just like the school can never measure how smart you are because they don't care about that, and it's just like, why don't we care about that part, you know?
right.
Because it's a comic or something like that's 240 pages
Man,
of writing.
yeah, and to keep the story going.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So I'm grateful that like that my passion for like teaching can like be done through my own thing as opposed to being a teacher, and like it's not a slight to my friends who are teachers. Like teachers important job.
Miss
And, like,
Ashley Brooke.
You said what?
Miss Ashley Brooke.
Oh yeah, no,
You know?
that's the homie. Yeah.
You know,
I got- yeah,
we support teachers. We love it, but and I salute anybody who could get out there and deal with children like that on with all them different personalities, and then the parents' personalities as well, which, you know what I'm saying,
being overworked for a little bit of pay.
underpaid.
My
Yes.
last teaching job, bro, I was getting paid $30K a year.
That's crazy. To whereas we pay our teachers less than we pay people to pick up our garbage.
$30K a year, man. So like that's why I give a shout out to my teachers. Like I just knew that I couldn't exist in that space. I was like, I had to make my own thing.
And it ain't
you know?
even about the money though. But dang, bro, how
No.
you gonna? If I'm here, if we say children are the future, education is the future for our children, and how do we pay the people that educate our children less?
Yeah, and it's I'll say like the sentiment, like I agree with it for the most part of like it isn't about the money, but also I like when a community realizes that's given a good service by like people like educators, there should be that willingness to be like, okay, like we need to like prioritize y'all just like we prioritize police officers. Like
Bro, you see more people crying about people not tipping properly at restaurants than paying a teacher. You don't see nobody. You know, if you can't afford to tip $5, if I felt your service was shitty, you get what you get. You be glad you got that.
Yeah.
I understand that you signed up to work for $3.50 wage plus tips.
mm-hmm.
Maybe you need to talk to them people about upping, just putting y'all on regular pay, and then let your tip speak for itself. Your service most definitely get you tipped, even if you was getting a regular wage from your employer.
Yeah.
But teachers don't get tipped. You know what I'm saying? You know the weird like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
Can we make that same argument for teachers? Hey,
Yeah.
your son was failing every class up until he got into my stuff, and he found something that he liked in school, and
Now I got straight A's.
straight A's. Can I get a tip? You know, no, we got a tip for you. Don't lie on your back and cry, cause tears get in your ears, make it hard to hear.
Yeah. If you made that up on the spot, that was quick. I like that. No, but that's the thing, man. That's why for me, like I just had to like leave it and make my own thing, because I'm like, man, like if I'm already getting paid very, like not that much. I might as well make something myself, and you know.
And now you got a curriculum that's dope, because you once again, you're not confined to the restraints of this. This is my curriculum. This is what I developed. This is not within your hours. Students participate in this.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Willingly, not forced. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so that's dope, bro. You know what I'm saying? I salute you, man.
Yeah.
I wish I could come help teach a class one day, but they might not get my sense of humor.
You said they gonna say nope.
Nah, get this motherfucker up out of here. We can't have that. So you use a lot of poetry. I know you use poetry, but storytelling in your teaching?
Yeah, you know what, man? A little bit. You know, whenever I run my sessions, man.
I love that play on words, your sessions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, boom. I knew you were gonna catch it. But whenever I run them, man, like I've learned from my mentor that like I don't really, I go in, I go in with like more of a asking the kids what they want, because again, like I could go in there and teach students like, oh, I could teach you this about poetry or this or that about poetry, and it could be really effective. But maybe you don't want to learn about that part of poetry. Maybe you just came because you like music. Maybe you came because you like rap. Maybe you came because you just like writing. So for me, whenever I have sessions like with my students, I ask them like, okay, what are y'all into? Like, oh, you're into rap? Okay, well every day when we start, I want you to pick a song that you listen to, and we're gonna talk about this song.
Ooh.
Even though I might not listen to it, we're gonna listen to it together
And then
like,
break it down.
and talk about it. You know, there may be students who are in there for poetry. It's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna show you guys my homie Black Chakra. We're gonna watch this poetry video, and we're gonna break this down. And what do y'all think? You know, so I'm all about being flexible because not one kid learns the same way. So for me, I'm like, I gotta be, if I'm as good of an educator as I am, I should be able to like take what you give me and be like, okay, you want to learn about this? Boom, here's this, you know, and make it work for you. As opposed to going in with my like, oh, you're gonna learn this and this and that because I told you to. Like,
For sure.
I'm just like every other teacher at that point. You know?
That's dope. I'm on bullshit with this motherfucker over here about to pass out on us.
Oh my man.
I was finna get him on
Damn.
camera. I wish I could turn that camera fast enough. We'd have had Dre on the first live session sleep.
You need like a Dre Vision camera.
Man,
like
we gotta
right
get
across
another
there.
camera just for that now. You just fucked up, Dre. You gonna make me put another camera on you now. So, okay, how do you see the difference in younger generations engaging with poetry and literature compared to when you started?
Man, I think there's a little bit. I think there's a lot more of an openness to it. Like in junior high and high school, I didn't really tell a lot of people I did poetry. The people who knew I did poetry were like maybe like close friends, girlfriends I had at the time. But like I didn't really like let it be known like that because at that time like it's still one of those things like, oh, you do poetry, you're gay or
Yeah,
you know.
poets called the flux for the longest.
Yeah, so it's just like in junior high and high school, it's just like, okay, I'm gonna keep it to myself, but like I'm gonna tell people who know and respect it, but I'm gonna just not talk about it altogether because I was already like, man, like being someone who like wasn't like, you know, I grew up with like parents who were always on my tail if I was like any kind of disrespectful. So like being someone who already had that kind of aspect to me, I ran cross country in high school and in junior high, and did poetry. Like people are gonna think people always thought I was like gay and stuff like that just because of that. It's like, bro, like just because I run cross country and do like that's weird.
But you know what? That's crazy for people to put a title on something over cross country, which is a track and field event.
Yeah.
Poetry. This is man. One of my favorite poets is Mr. Tisdale. You know what I'm saying? He got a poem called The Redor.
Yeah,
And so with that poem, that's one poem I always remember. He's part of Americans poets of fathers, founding fathers of poets.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
no.
They got them listed in that era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the Redor, man, that poem is dope as fuck. Redor. If the sages was to ask thee why this beauty was wasted on the earth and the sky, tell them if eyes were made for seeing, then beauty is its own reason for being.
Man, come on.
You feel
So
me?
you got but that's dope, man, and that's the thing. Like I think there were those of us who kind of just like didn't put boundaries on ourselves, or like we enjoyed art. However,
Art.
like you know, I think now with kids, there's more of an openness to poetry because now, like you know, with TikTok and YouTube, they're seeing poetry from a different perspective.
True.
You know,
art is getting a bigger. It's not just it's artistic views are getting a better image and view. Now people are seeing that they can use their creativity. Art is what you imagine and not what someone else says is art.
exactly. It's whatever you make it, you know. And I think there's a beauty in that, and I think like for kids, it's just made them all the more gravitate towards poetry because like, oh, it's this. You can share it. You can spit it on stage, you know. So
True.
yeah.
So, is there a book or a poem you think everyone should read at least once in their life?
A book or a poem?
Yeah.
Oh man. I'd say book wise. Any kind of book or a poetry book?
Any kind of book.
Any kind of
it
book?
could be anything you think someone should read.
I would say A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle,
Yeah.
and The Alchemist as well by I think that's by Paulo Coelho. I think both those books though, The Alchemist and A New Earth. Those are like those books changed my life, but I think everybody should read those books like at least once a year.
And then he said once a year.
Like
He said not once in your
you
life.
need to be reminded of that stuff, but those is for sure.
That's different because most people 48 laws of power.
I have that in my library, but yeah, it's just like
it's cool. But everybody I know who read the 48 Laws of Power thought they was the mastermind and at manipulation of people. You feel? Everybody I know who read that book.
I'm gonna go have my boss give me a raise. Watch
right,
this.
Yeah, I'm gonna put these 48 laws on them.
It gave you 48 more hours to
Man,
work.
yeah, you know, don't worry about it. Get your union rep. We gotta have a conversation. So speaking of books and poetry, how many books have you written so far?
3 going on. I'm releasing my 4th one this next Friday, actually.
Next Friday? Oh, dope.
This next Friday. Yep. I took the wrong path, so it's like a collection of poems. 40 poems. It was 39, but I added an extra one this past week.
Okay.
But it's just like a poetic journey of just kind of like navigating grief, of losing a sibling and losing friends and stuff in the last 3 years, and like how I've like made mistakes in that grief, but also how I've like found like myself in that grief too. So
dope.
Yeah, it's one of it's yeah.
So what's the name of this book?
You said what?
What's the name?
I Took the Wrong Path.
I my bad. You said that. And I didn't catch that.
Oh,
my apologies. I thought when you said you took the wrong path, you took the wrong path in releasing the book.
Bars.
I didn't catch that at the time.
That is funny. Hey, that's a double entendre. The title's a whole double entendre of itself.
Man, that's dope, man. So when this book gonna be available everywhere, right?
Yeah, so it's gonna be available on my website, but I definitely encourage people to like buy them from like local bookstores, kind of support local, because it's gonna be at the Atlas Collective. It's gonna be at the Figgy Brood Book as well. So definitely go to these bookstores and buy, because like you're not just supporting me, but you're supporting local shops too. So
dope. So yeah, that's dope. Make sure. But if they can't get to one of those spots, what's your website?
The website's Mr. Aubs, so that's Mr. spelled out MisterAubs.com, and yeah, we'll have the books up there. We're also gonna have merch like hoodies, shirts.
Yeah, I want that. I want that hoodie. I swear, I want. Make sure I got that hoodie for 420, man. Make sure I got. I
already got it at the crib. I got you. I already got it.
I want that. I want that. Yeah. I want that joint. That joint nice.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, they'll know. They'll
know. We got a 420 show we shooting. We gonna shoot one. They gonna like that hoodie, man. Most definitely, man. Y'all make sure y'all go support that. I do got a couple of questions on battle rap though. Yeah. What got you into that?
Like I said, man, like poetry, like battle rap being what influenced me to write poetry. Like I think when I found that there was like battle rap leagues that were around here, I'm like, oh, like that's what got me to poetry. Why don't I just try it out? You know, first one was terrible. You can find it on YouTube, but it's terrible. It's a terrible one. But we all got to start somewhere, you know. But you got one on YouTube that's dope, man. Y'all make me go in there and find that motherfucker. Oh no, I think all the ones after are dope. The first one was just, you know. But we all start somewhere, you know. But yeah, I like battle rap for like what it challenges from me as like a writer. So I'm always gonna be into battle rap for sure. I got a battle rap card coming up in May with a Super Hot Fire hosting actually.
Super Hot Fire?
Yep, in Omaha, Nebraska.
Dang it. So who you battling?
I'm battling Midwest Duck. He's a brother from Waterloo. Okay,
so you still battling in the Des Moines League?
Yeah, whenever they have battles, yeah, they've been kind of like rebuilding and rebranding as of late, so it's kind of been under said construction. But no, I rock with I owe you, get you some more than they could ever pay back. You know, Crazy, Hungry, all those battle rap forefathers of Des Moines, like they offered me a space, you know, to grow as a battle rapper, so I appreciate them. So I'm always gonna be in battles out there just off the love.
For sure. I'm looking for that. I'm looking for you. You know what I'm looking for?
I think the most recent one you'll find is maybe the Hungry one.
No, I'm looking for you. I'm looking for the one where you was on the with the thunder and the rain.
Oh, that's Maniac. Maniac. I battled Maniac with the K at the end. Yeah, MANIAK. Yeah, that's the brother too. I appreciate Maniac. The thunder drop.
Man, and for that, bro, this would be the first time. Is this
Yep,
it right here?
I think it's right there. Yep.
Is it in the beginning of it?
It's like Maniac went first, and then I went second, so it's kind of towards the beginning.
Your second one? Your first?
Yeah, it's like it's the first round.
What did these rounds go?
Oh, that's that's a Kyle battle.
Never mind.
Yeah, that one was
Never mind. I was gonna pull it up. And play it on the get you some battle. I'm gonna pull it up later when I got time, and I'm gonna share it on all my pages.
Yeah,
because that's what I remember that you for some reason that was dope as fucking when you said that line. Was that a freestyle line or was that a line you had wrote and it just the weather had participated with you that day?
I freestyled it at the last minute. Like, it was funny because 5 minutes before it, I was like, maybe I should say this instead of this, because I had something completely different. I was like, let me just do it, I guess. It sounds a little better, whatever. But in that moment when I said it,
the thunder hit.
So I'm like, hey, the universe made me switch that line to the last minute.
That's some dope shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Because I always wondered. I never asked that. Was that a freestyle line or whatever? Because, like, damn, bro, you just got the weather. You got God working with you. Now we got 420 on Easter. Boy, Jesus is coming back on the clouds for real today.
I'm telling you, bro. Like I was tapped into something different then.
That's dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Get you some Battle League, man. Whenever you can, go support them guys.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to go to a battle rap event. I still have not been to a battle rap.
You haven't, bro. You got to go to this one in May in Omaha, Nebraska, man.
May what?
Huh?
May what?
May, I think it was 21st or 31st.
21st is my birthday. Yeah.
Okay, if it's 31st, you should definitely try to go, man. It'll be a big one. I don't know if you know Super Hot Fire. He's like the comedic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
I know exactly. You know what I'm saying when he rap and it be like that Super Hot Fire. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be hosting this one.
That's dope, man. Any other? As you retire from the battle rap scene after that?
Man, I always tell myself that I'm gonna be done for a while after, but I don't know. I'm always find myself getting back into it. I don't do it as frequently as I did because I just have such a focus on poetry. But battle rap's always gonna find its way into what I do.
That's dope, man. They can't give it up, man. I wish I could battle rap. I wish I could rap, period, man. If I was able to rap, period. So what you think about this new president and stuff? No, let me.
That's a whole. That's for the next book. I'm already working on the next book. The next book's talking about all that.
Okay, it's personal and philosophical, I guess. I'm trying to make sure I can read words. I ain't got my eyes on today. What do you want your legacy to be as a poet, teacher, and performer? So you got 3 aspects of this.
Just simply that somebody from Rock Island did it, whatever it is at the time, because that's all that matters. Just the fact that kids know that, like, in a place where they don't see a lot of art or hear people become artists as careers or have their own business and education, just know that somebody named Aubrey did it. So if I did it, you can do it. You just gotta want to do it and want to be able to, like, enjoy the work. So that's all I want to leave, man.
For sure.
That's all that matters,
man. And that sums up all 3 of those, that somebody did it. Whatever. I like the way you put it. Whatever it is, you don't have to be confined to the traditionals of what you think could take you somewhere and do something that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Next question. If you weren't a writer or educator, what do you think you'd be doing?
If I was a writer educator, I'd definitely.
Well, this is not Vlad TV. This is not Vlad. This is not Vlad.
I'd definitely be a coffee. I feel like I'd be a coffee shop and brewery owner.
Damn.
Like owning like a brewery, because I've always been like I'm a big beer nerd. I don't drink beer as much as I used to, but like I like the craft of making beer just always fascinates me. And just like a brewery, just being a place where like people hang out, they socialize.
You
It's
selling
like
your craft beers? Oh, that's dope. If you do decide to do that, let me make my craft wines.
That'd be dope.
I got
Okay.
my penitentiary hooch. I'll make my hooch. I'll make that hooch, baby.
Yeah. Hey, we got sessions in the back making the
making the hooch. We
making
got
the barrel wines.
Man, the marijuana wines. We gonna smoke it. We got the hooch.
No, man.
But that's dope. You know what? I keep telling people I was gonna make a batch of wine. You know, cause the stuff is easy to do.
Yeah.
It's just, do I really want to take the time and do it, man? You know.
Yeah.
But then that's going back to me wanting to criticize a lot of prison shit, and then here I go wanting to share prison shit.
But it's an innocence and something that is to give relaxation to
Most
you know.
I might make a batch though, but not tell nobody I made the wine. Knock them on their man.
And not tell nobody.
Not tell nobody it's homemade wine. I won't even call it hooch. I just call it homemade wine. You know what I'm saying? That way I can eliminate the stigmas of talking about of prison. You know, just homemade wine.
That's your whole branding. You got your whole branding right there. It's like we just breaking the stigma.
We breaking it.
The Sessions wine.
The Sessions wine. I was going to ask you about the misconception people have about battle rapper spoken word poetry, but we know the misconception is a lot of people think that everything has to rhyme, everything has to fit into something. It's what you make of it, and that's what I love about you, bro. Man, on some real shit, man. Every time I see you, you are you, authentically you. Period. You know what I'm saying? There is never a question about it. But you still. Your vibe and your aura is like, man, I'm cool people, B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's dope, man. So
much love, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah. From the moment, we met at the little store.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And we was cool from that moment on. You know what I'm saying? The first time we met, we was locked in on some cool. Like, man, bro, I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And the poetry shit was a plus. The rapping was a plus.
Yeah.
The teaching was the icing on the cake because you're dealing with students and you're shaping minds of our young intellects and you're helping them to grow into the person that they can become. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's dope. I don't think enough people really acknowledges that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's important, man, especially in this day and time, man. Like, kids living a crazy time now, bro. Like, you gotta think about it. Kids like went through right now a pandemic, all these other things that follow. It's just like, man, like kids need a village of people behind them, And that's how we gotta be.
Okay, for sure. Anything else you want to bring to the people's perspective as we we know what you got, the book coming out next Friday. Go get that. I took the wrong path, right? Did I say it right?
Yep, you said it right.
Go get that book. I took the wrong path. I'm gonna go buy me a copy, just so I can have a copy of the book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and then we could do a book club on it. Dre, you got to go buy you a copy too. We could do a book club.
Bro,
we could do a book club on it. You know what I'm saying? And share the thoughts. You know what I'm saying? If we could review music and tell people what we like on music. You know what I'm saying? Why can't we review the books as well? You know what I'm saying?
And that's how you change the narrative, bro. Like that's how you change
saying?
Just little things like that, bro. That'd be love. I appreciate it.
For sure. Appreciate you, my brother, coming through, messing with us. You know what I'm saying? Sharing everything with us, man. We gotta make sure you get to the Skylight luxury lounge. We gotta make sure we say the luxury. Add the luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Add the luxury.
Add the luxury. Skylight.
Yeah.
Skylight have great events there. There's an open mic tonight, I believe. If you out and about, go support the open mic night. You know what I'm saying? Support your local businesses and everything that's going on, man. My brother, thank you. Thank you
y'all
for
having
coming
me
on,
man.
bro. You know what I'm saying? Once I get this stuff better, man, and figure out how to really work it, man, we're going to get you back in here to talk shit. Most definitely.
No, this is great, man. Like, we all figuring it out, like I said.
For sure.
Yeah, this is good.
And before we get up out of here, I want to let you know, go shop at Terrace Cannabis, 2727 Avenue of the Cities. They are Sessions QC sponsors, man. Use the code SESHQC and get you a discount at the store. And 420. The first 50 people to use the code SESH, SESHQC, at Terrace Dispensary, Avenue of the Cities, you get a free gift with it. You know, smoke one on me. You feel me?
I'm finna do
So,
that.
so I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you once again, brother Aubs. Thank you, Coach Dre. And I've been E-Dub, man. We didn't have some fun. We talked about poetry tonight, man, and we did our thing, man. Salute education. Tip your teachers. Tip your teachers. They educating the children, man. Tip your teachers, man. They need.